What's up, everybody? Welcome to another show, Jamming with J Money, SBR NBA show, all that, man. We back another day trying to get to some money. We're gonna break down all these NBA games just like we do every day. I'm your host, J Money. That's my guy Junior, as you guys know, and we have a special guest today, my guy SharksNSports, my guy Sharky Waters Nation from Twitter, man. Y'all know who he is. What's up, brother? We gotta welcome in the special guest first, Junior. What's up, Shark? Everything good with you, my guy?
Oh, that is great. Everybody's so focused on the NFL right now. We got a 1 p.m. slate here. We're going straight basketball, baby. I got the Knicks behind me. I was born in New York. Let's talk the damn orange globe.
Let's get it, Junior. What's up, bro? Everything cool with you, my guy?
Yeah, man, just ready to get to it. Glad to have the Shark on the show. Ready to hear his insight, help everybody watching get to this money. Thank you guys for supporting the show. We had a lot of people watching live yesterday. It's really, really good to see because I love doing this with Jay, with Jordan, hearing their opinions and cashing tickets. Unfortunately, I went 0-2 yesterday for the first time, so trying to get back on it. Let's do it whenever you're ready, Jay.
Got you. Yeah, I'm ready. I went 0-2 as well, man. Been on this same run, but it's not going to, as I always tell you guys, it's not going to stay up. Everybody's due for a positive regression, negative regression is going to happen, man. We go through our ups, we go through our downs, but you got to stay level-headed. Like I say, tough day for me yesterday. I was on the Wizards. Yes, I was all over the Wizards yesterday. They had false hope there, cut it down 95-99 to 4. Then they end up pissing away. The Wizards don't play any defense, man. If they actually was a defensive team, they could have won that game. Celtics come out there and smack them, man. What was I thinking betting against my boys, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown? But they ended up getting the job done. The Pistons, Junior, we talked about that. I had a heavy lean to the Pistons. I didn't make it official. What do you know? They end up pushing, going to overtime versus Suns and winning by 5. We talked about that when it was way too many points for the Suns. We didn't think that the Pistons would win, but hey, we always said that we can't count any of these teams out. The Hornets end up getting the job done over the Pelicans, guys. The Pelicans was up 18 points in their first half and ended up pissing them away. The Knicks didn't end up staying hot. Oh man, Jason Tatum expected quarantine. Oh man, I got all type of stuff coming up on my phone, guys. Sorry, but just recap real quick. Yesterday, the Rockets smacked the shit out of the Magic by 42 points. The Grizzlies ended up getting their first home win. The Warriors ended up coming all the way back from the Clippers there. It was crazy there. Oh boy, that was tough. Clippers only scored 40 points second half. Jazz ended up beating the Bucks straight up. The Lakers ended up squeaking by the Bulls by 2, and the Raptors ended up seemingly beating the Kings by 20 after trailing by halftime. Shark, anything popped out to you yesterday that you like?
I think the Warriors comeback was a real standout point. Obviously, they blew them out in the second half, and they scored 69, 70 points in the second half. Clippers laid down. Going back 4 or 5 years, I've made the comment off the record with you guys. When the Warriors were really coming up before KD, obviously the Knicks have been down for 2 decades. They inspired the hell out of me as a fan. I just love their brand. I love their pace. I love just the variable roster. So to see them kind of come back on that, even though they're probably going to be a fringe 8, 9, 10, who knows, that just gets my juices flowing beyond anything else on the board yesterday.
Exactly. Yeah, the Warriors, I mean, Steph seemed like they got them looking like they want to be a playoff team. They want to be a playoff team. But yeah, me and Junior combined 0-4 yesterday on the show, guys. So looking for a huge bounce back. I'm not on high from any losses, man. It took a couple of L's yesterday. Tough night. Try to get back to it, but I need that motivation. You know what I'm saying? We finna get to today's game, but I just have to talk about that I'm absolutely pissed right now. I was high. I took a couple of losses. I need that because it kind of seemed to start to get too high. You know what I'm saying, on myself. So have to level back out every once in a while. I'm actually glad that I took those losses, man. I need that. Let's keep going. Let's go on another fucking 19-2 run. Excuse my French, man, but I'm absolutely pissed right now, and I'm ready to get to some money today, man. First game of the day, we got the Nuggets versus 76ers. Line moving all over the place, guys. Y'all know I'm passionate about this shit, man. I'm passionate about this, but line moving all over the place, guys. The 76ers only got 9 bodies in there. Junior, what do you think in this spot? Denver, I can't bet on this game. And Nuggets going to lay points on the road with their no defense playing behind. Still don't have Michael Porter Jr. Junior, what's up? What you think about this one, my guy? What you thinking, Junior, on this spot? Sixers bounce back?
If you're laying points with the Nuggets and you're not from Denver, you need to have your head examined because what about this team makes them a bet on team against anybody? I don't even know who the 76ers have, but as long as they got bodies that qualify as NBA players, and they can compete with this Denver team. Denver's got a lot of problems. Mike Malone appears to be a good coach, But at some point, they're going to start asking questions, right? Maybe they need a new voice, but there's something wrong in Denver. I don't know what it is. Well, I do know what it is. Roster turnover. Jeremy Grant's gone. Torrey Craig is gone. There's just Mason Plumlee's gone. They have no bench anymore. That was the strength of their team, that 1 through 10, they're pretty damn solid. There was no drop-off when they would take guys out. Now there's a huge drop-off. So this is a stay-away game for me, because obviously we don't know what the league is going to do with the contact tracing with Seth Curry, and the players he was around. So we don't even kind of know who's playing. So sorry, not to be long-winded, stay away from me.
Got you. So the 9 players that are available for the Sixers, Shark, we got Tyrese Maxey. This is likely the starting lineup. Maxey, Matthias, Danny Green, Ben Simmons, and Joel Embiid. So they still got best 2 players over there, Simmons and Embiid. No Tobias Harris, no Seth Curry, who had it. Well, obviously, he's out. But they do have Dwight Howard, Isaiah Joe, Paul Reed, and Tony Bradley coming off the bench. 3 of those players, which regular not even in the rotation, Shark. What are you thinking in this one?
Well, I think obviously at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, anybody who's trying to bet NBA basketball wants to hone in on this game. Obviously, we've been saying this for the last 6 months in sports. COVID ambiguity, it makes it difficult to prognosticate. When I do look at this, last year Denver came in here and lost 97-92 in Philly, obviously with fans and a different roster. I'm not sure if that applies to this game. Both games last year were very low. The one in Denver was also under 200 points. So I think there might be a lean to the over here. I think when you see that line come up to 220 plus off of 2 games under 200 last year, it tells you a pretty damn good story. And as you guys said, they don't play an ounce of defense. Denver is a little clustered at home. They are 1-5 against the spread at home. 2 road games, which don't correlate to this at all. A 125-115 blowout loss to the Kings in Sacramento. And then a 14-point backdoor cover in Minnesota. Again, nothing like Philadelphia. If I had to play on one side, it would be the over, but I do think stay away. COVID ambiguity is a little tough here.
Got you. Yeah, like I say, the Sixers are home dog here, and they're coming off a loss versus the Nets, where they didn't come to play. We have the Nuggets here is coming off that overtime loss to the Mavs, which Jamal Murray said we should have won that game. All this, so both teams coming off tough loss. The Nuggets, I'll tell you, I'm not laying points with them on the road, especially not like Junior said, a competent team. Even though they're missing players over there, have some players that's not in rotation. You still have Embiid over there. You still have Simmons, so 2 cornerstone players. They're still going to be the better defensive team out there. Don't like the fact they got 2 bench guys coming in there and inserting to the start lineup. But like I say, it's a tough game, not one that I'm forcing to bet on. I can't. A lot of people just think that Denver will be easy here. I'm not saying that they won't cover. It's just one of them staying away. I'm not laying points with Denver on the road, team that doesn't play any defense. So the 76 still a better defense team. But if Joel Embiid or somebody gets in foul trouble, it's just one you maybe want to watch, see if somebody's in foul trouble in the second half, maybe make a second half play. No look for me. A lot of moving parts. I could still see the 76ers winning this game. Next game up, man. Let's get to the Hawks versus the Hornets. A lot more intriguing game. The Hornets have been absolutely balling lately. They're balling on the road. What are we doing here? Hornets off a 4-game road trip. What are we doing here, Junior? What do you think? What are you looking at in this spot?
Yeah, man, it's hard to jump in front of this Hornets train right now. You're asking Atlanta to lay win by 6. It's a 5.5 point spread to win by 6. I'd have to take the points with Charlotte. Anyone who watches the show knows that I've been betting on Atlanta pretty consistently, but you can't blindly just follow any trend. And right now, the Hornets are playing well, and Atlanta's still showing signs of being a young team, still trying to figure it out. Like, I still believe in them. I still think they're going to make the playoffs. I still think they're going to be a much improved team. But they're still they're a roster full of players who don't know what it takes to be a winner. And you see that in the last couple of minutes of games. You see that when they get big leads. And as much as I want to follow the narrative, they're going to break this 3-game losing streak and turn it around here. Not laying 6 points. Not laying 5.5 points. I'm not. So if it's just a lean. If it goes past 6, I'm on Charlotte 100%. That's my lean though. Charlotte right now plus 5.5.
My God, this is why the Shark is my guy. And we didn't coordinate on this before the show, but the Shark, you just let them know where you go. Let them know how we think, my guy.
All right, well, I think we do disagree. And, of course, it's all respect and love. But when we get really into the streets of this game, Atlanta does come in here off of an L3. And when you go back to last year, of course, Trae Young led group, Cam Reddish out of Duke, and a couple of other guys, John Collins, Wake Forest, etc. When they really lay down in a game, it's usually because of their field goal percentage volatility. And if you look at their first 4 games, they were over 120 all 4, and then they've completely swooned down under 100. I think one was 100, 2 under 100 the last 3. And if you look at their stats, it was just lackluster energy and inability to shoot the basketball. And when you look at the Charlotte side here, ultimately this is a revenge game for Atlanta. They did lay down at home 102-94 on a 6. Key point on the line here, when it holds at 4 and gets jumped up to 5, theoretically coming back in the opposing stadium, this probably should hover at 2.5, 3. I think this is showing some numerical real transparency towards Atlanta. And I think it does check the box of fading Charlotte specifically off of a massive, massive win last night in New Orleans, the Ball Bowl, if you will. And I think it's just an emotional letdown. I think it's a fatigue point for their legs, the revenge game, the number, and the buy low off of a 4-game sample for Atlanta. Tonight, that would be a top play for me. I got this at 4 last night on Heritage at 1 in the morning. Obviously, it has gotten steamed up to 5.5, but that's a top play for me. Jay?
Yeah, hey, and it's not just the revenge for me. It's a lot of, but it's a bunch of different angles here. It's a bunch of different angles. So we do have the first one, the one that I said I am going to be going with all season. It's not going to be blind. I'm always going to look into it. But this one, we have a lot going to it. We have the Hornets here who are coming, who a lot of people weren't sold on. We have to remember last time they were at the house, they got smacked by Memphis by 15 points. They were never in the game. No Ja Morant there. It was an absolute no-show. They come now, they went on a 4-game road trip, got smacked first 2 games in Philly. Then they go and beat Atlanta. It's like, okay, yeah, they smacked them from wire to wire, which almost let the Hawks come back, win that game. Then you go to New Orleans, you're getting smacked by 18. You have the balls come all the way back, like Shark said, in the Ball Bowl. So understand that off 4-game road trip, you come back to the house. It's on the back-to-back, 3rd game, 4 nights with travel, and you're facing revenge versus the Hawks team who has a lot of turmoil going. You know what I'm saying? If Trae Young didn't come to play last time, he has to now. John Collins calling him out, saying he's not running the offense right. They're getting into it. It's a lot of, you want to see turmoil in a young team like this with some veterans because they want to win. Them guys are focused on winning. Another thing with the Hawks, they seem not to be playing well at the house. They go on the road. You see them hang with one of the cream of the crops of the NBA, the Nets, when they had Kyrie and KD. Both games end up winning one of them. It seemed to play better on the road. This is something that's going back to last year, past 2 years. Hawks play better on the road. They had revenge. They have the rest advantage. They hadn't played a game since they lost to Charlotte. Charlotte has played a game. Everything is boding well for the Hawks here. The line's moving up. It's going to be a public fade. Everybody's going to be on the Hornets here. I'm making the Hawks official play. I did hop on the Hawks the first half -3. I did hop on the Hawks full game -5. I still like it to -5.5. It seems crazy, but you just looking at that line. Why is this line the exact same as when they were winning in Atlanta? I think it's because the bookmakers know that the Hawks are coming in this one. They're tired of losing. I think this is a smash spot. Could be crazy. Hornets could continue that same play, but in an absolute letdown spot here, coming back to the house in a revenge spot for the Hawks, I have to be on them here. I'm wearing red. I absolutely never wear red. I'm on them today. I need the Hawks. I need them today. That's my bounce back play of the day, guys. We can get to so Junior. You're not gonna ride with this one. I know it sounds crazy, but this is my game. I just want to know what you think about that.
I'm gonna tell you what, because I was going hard on the Hawks in the beginning of the season. Their effective field goal percentage is below 50% right now. The last 4 games. That's really hard to do. And it's not because they can't shoot. I'm going to tell you right now, when I watched that Knicks game where was it the Knicks? Oh, no, sorry, the Pistons game where they're up 24 in the 4th quarter and they let the Pistons come all the way back. It was just a shot selection. They literally just come down 1 pass 3, 1 pass 3, 1-on-1. No, they're not running anything. Like you've said it several times about the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're just out there playing ball as if they're at the YMCA or some shit. Like run some sets. So if they get back to playing basketball the way they were when they were a bit more humble, when they didn't have a little success, I think they'll smash the Hornets. But I just got to see it first. I just don't like this number either.
One further thing I would say on that, if you actually kind of look at the opponent types here, obviously you can't necessarily cross-reference Charlotte directly with the Bulls or Memphis, but I do think there's a similarity in terms of pace and also just roster components, youth, etc. And I think we talk about this all the time. Like when a young group plays against LeBron and a bunch of old hats, totally different environment than when guys in their peer group play against each other. And I think they're going to take it even more on that insult factor that they just got smacked by a bunch of young guys in their home stadium. And I think when you look at the total at 228 off of a 102.94, like just low 196 spot, it is suggesting that. And again, I always think that the number does stand tall for a pretty damn good story. And I think it all correlates towards that. Exactly.
And like I say, it's not public money that the public sharps don't really matter, but this line has came up from 4, guys. And it's just money. It's money. It's not public money. Just let you know that the public is not going to look at this game. Just an average Joe is not going to look at this game and say, oh, let me bet the Hawks. They're taking the Hornets for sure. Home dog, they look sexy. I just don't think that this is a spot for the home dog, especially not coming off that 4-game road trip, coming off a huge game. And just last night, you don't have any time to come back and practice and get ready for Atlanta. You're finna come out, just play the game and try to beat them like you did the other day. Whereas the Hawks, I think, Junior, they really have to work on their offense, especially with Collins calling out Trae Young. You got to come with some offensive sets. You got to come with a lot better effort and output, you know what I'm saying, in this game. But let's get to the next one, my guys. We got the Suns. Let's go to this Heat versus Wizards game a little bit more. Well, that Suns and Pacers game, a good one as well. But Heat versus the Wizards here. The Heat opened this game up at 5.5. It's up to 7 now. We're still not sure if I like that, Isaiah. I hope so, Isaiah. But he say Hawks by 10. I hope so. I see you in the chat, baby. But Shark, what you liking in this one, my guy? You think that the Heat can bounce back here, or do you think that the Wizards always almost seem in that same spot, all 4-game road trip back at the house and with no rest?
Key point here. I'm absolutely on Miami minus 5.5, and you had Miami in a first half spot in a similar environment going back a week and a half. I did not have that, but I thought you made a great point on that. And I think what you're looking at here is just obviously Washington did not cover last night, but they had a very representative effort regardless. It was right on the number. They came out very flat. They made a huge push in the third, closed, and then faded down the stretch, which does happen so frequently. But if you really look at that road trip, they were 3-1 against the spread and could have very been 4-0 against the spread on that road trip. And I think now that you look at, again, we keep talking about this environment, which is we're starting to see these finally, the back-to-backs, the 3rd and 4. This is a 3rd and 4 again. And it's just the fourth quarter of those spots, you see the cliff dive so frequently. And I do think that first half here is a little bit difficult from the standpoint that they did come out so flat last night. And obviously in the locker room, there's an emphasis, hey, guys, we were so flat last night. Let's try to really bring it in the first quarter. So I'm not as centered on Miami first quarter, first half here. But I do think at the end of the day here, fourth quarter, they lock it in. I think they win by somewhere between 7 and 12 points fairly comfortably.
Got you guys. Yeah, Junior, hey, if the Heat here come to play and they pissed off, they play very well off of a loss. As long as they're not super looking ahead to their Celtics game, they should come in here and smash the Wizards, who don't really run any plays and they don't really play any defense. Like they're playing rec ball pretty much, hoping that Bill carries them to the promised land, Junior.
Yeah, I got a lot of different opinions on this game, honestly. Last year, as you know, Jay, that Miami and Milwaukee were my two. That's what made me money. Especially Miami first half. They're probably the best first half team in the league, especially in the beginning of the season. I don't even know. Let me start with something actually I noticed in the Wizards last game. Russell Westbrook's athleticism is like LeBron's hairline. It kind of looks like it's still there, but it's leaving. It ain't really there. He looks like he's getting closer to wash than not. Just pay attention to that. He doesn't look the same. He's kind of struggling, and that's why it kind of gives the appearance that they're playing rec ball, because Bradley Beal is just kind of like, listen, bro, I'm just going to do me, continue to drive up my trade value. And also Bradley Beal is like as an old school type of guy that I don't think he understands what not playing hard. Like, he can't not play hard. Bradley Beal is going to play hard no matter who they're playing, no matter how much they're down. And I respect that about him, actually, which is the only reason they don't get blown out by more on a consistent basis. There's only so much of that he could really do, though. Like, he's going to have to regress back to the mean at some point. And I think that if you just look at the spot here for Miami, if Miami doesn't smash Washington in this game, in a situation where they're below 500, and now they got to go at Boston and at Philly twice, they can be in a lot of trouble. So if they're going to get right, they got to get right against inferior teams. I think they don't take this game lightly at all. I think they come out with the intent to smash Washington for no other reason, but they're not in the position to take any game lightly right now.
Oh my God!
What's wrong?
I'm
Go ahead,
sorry.
go ahead. No, you go ahead. Go ahead. I mean, I'm on the Heat first half.
Boy.
Heat game.
Sixers are planning to. I like that. Sixers are planning to sit in. What the hell is going to go on in this game? Sixers are planning to list Embiid out with back tightness and Simmons with left knee swelling. Sources tell ESPN.
And EC Vegas knows that shit, right?
Neither will play today.
So that's gonna go.
What the hell? So they're gonna have 7 players. They gotta cancel this game. And then Tatum out. Tatum's out for 14 days. Why the fuck they didn't send him yesterday, man? Let me get that. All right. I'm sorry, guys. That shit. Tatum sat out yesterday. We would have been good with Washington. But what you think about that? Now what do we think about the Nuggets game? Oh boy, what's up?
The line's gonna jump now, probably 4 points at least.
You can't even look towards Philly without Embiid or Simmons.
And then really,
it's not even a game. It's not even a game.
Talk about the other side of it. Now you have to ask yourself, where is Denver's energy going to come from to really play a game against this group of 7 random, second layer players? And it's like, is there any motivation for Denver now? So it's just either side takes on an unknown.
Yeah, no, I don't think they're going to play this game, guys. They're not going to let them play with 7 guys. I don't think they're going to let them play with. I think I saw some earlier saying that they were going to cancel this game, and I kind of view this as if Doc Rivers does that, I kind of assume saying like we don't want to play this game. This is crazy, bro. And then you got this with Jason Tatum now. See, okay, if he has to quarantine for 10, 14 days, what's going on with him? Why did he just play last night? What's going to go on with the Wizards? Is some of their players going to? It's like, oh boy, we got it closer. Let's keep going with the games, my guys. Yeah, in theory, Denver should smack them up, but I don't like betting games like that, man. I don't think that game would be played. Let's get to the next one, guys. Suns versus Pacers. Line open up at Pacers -2.5, up to 3.5 for the Pacers. Is a back-to-back spot for the Suns. They are coming off an overtime loss last night in Detroit. Junior, what do you think about this game, my guy?
Yeah, people are going to hate this play, but I actually took the Suns at +3.5. I think that, if you're talking about more than one possession, I think this. I actually am I'm a real believer in the Suns team. I think I've watched them enough to know that Chris Paul and Devin Booker aren't even really playing their best basketball, and this team is still getting wins. I think that has a lot of that has to do with their defense. A lot of that has to do with their younger players stepping up. Michael Bridges, the Villanova kid, he continues to improve. I really thought Kelly Oubre leaving that team was going to be a huge hole, but he basically has replaced his production pretty much, right? And I'm positive that he takes less shots. So he's been a net plus, and they just have a real leader now. I mean, I'm not even talking about Monty Williams, who is a real leader. Chris Paul. I think the way they lost that game yesterday, they're not going to come in here and take this game lightly. I think they're going to come in here with a really strong effort. And I think that they match up well with the Pacers. I think if you can match up with the Pacers front court, you always have a chance to beat this team. I don't like the matchup for the Pacers guards with Chris Paul. Not to say Chris Paul is going to explode. He's going to control the pace, right? Because that's what Chris Paul does. We've seen it already with the fact that the Suns' pace is literally flipped on its head from what it was last year with his introduction into their team, which I think makes him a better team. Devin Booker is playing way more under control. I think tonight he bounces back, the team bounces back. I know it's going to be an unpopular play, but once they cross that one possession threshold of 3.5, to me, that's the play. I think that the Pacers probably win the game, but I think the Suns can keep it close.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's a tough game for me, in my opinion. The Suns are a good team. I mean, they play hard. I don't like when that game went to overtime last night. I said that's not good for us. So even the fact that they lost it, it's just not good. Especially from a risk perspective, the fact that the Pacers have that much an advantage over them already. It was already had an advantage just from them playing the game. Then you go into overtime. Shark, what do you think about this one, my guy? You think that the Pacers can get it done, or you think that the Suns bounce back with their defense?
I think to Junior's point, the Suns are unpredictable here because Chris Paul is – I mean, I've said Chris Paul numerous times going back 5 years. I think he's going to be an NBA head coach. I think he's going to be a hell of an NBA head coach. I think he's a mental assassin. He's tactically correct. He's psychologically correct. He knows how to motivate and really inspire. And I think they're going to bounce back. That being said, I don't love the fact, and I don't know how applicable this really is, but the Pacers did get beat down in the bubble by the Suns by about 14, I believe. And when you get that revenge game, again, that was less than a year ago. These guys are pro athletes. They do remember this stuff. And again, then you just do get the back-to-back road. And again, when we look back, it is 72 games, not 82. But teams can lose 2 games in a row. It's not unheard of. And they can definitely lose two in a back-to-back scenario where their energy just could fail them in the fourth quarter. And I think ultimately 2.5, 3 is just a really sharp line. No real take for me on that one.
Guys, yeah, man, this Sixers game really got my head. Sixers will have required 8 players available for the game. I don't know what the hell. I'm sorry, guys. That's just really tripping me out, the fact they're forcing that game. But that's today's NBA. That's what we're gonna have to go through. But there's real good points there. But my guy Darren the Shark, like I say, I had a lean to the Suns. The Pacers have the advantage, especially with them coming off OT. You always have to worry about them maybe resting a player. You always have to worry because Chris Paul's up there in age. It's early in the season. It's like you say, you can't just say, all right, we're going for every single game. You have to think about resting some of these guys for the long haul. So you always just think about that in the back of your head. I would lean Suns. The Suns are nothing for me. But like you say, the Pacers did have some of their revenge. It was the Suns coming to play TJ Warren. He isn't playing in this game, so a little bit of that fire going. But the Pacers, they have Sabonis back this year as well. So they don't have Warren, but they have Sabonis back. It's a tough game for me. I don't like forcing on this. It's a real tough one. Might watch it and then make a second half play, see who's really came to play. But Suns are a great bounce back team. I can't say that. I don't like to bet against the Suns. When I bet against them, they take my money. When I bet on them, they take my money. So I mean, I can't stand this fucking Suns. That's just me though. But next game up, my guys. Next game up. Let's get to this Cavs versus. Just say something real quick about this Cavs versus Bucks spot. If Sexton doesn't play, I do think that it'll be a bloodbath. The Bucks are off on back-to-back, but this is the last game of a 6-game road trip for the Cavs, and they're coming off a win. It's not a good spot. Historically, this is a spot that I would fade them pretty much every time. The Bucks off a loss as well. It's a lot of points, and they probably won't have Giannis out here, Junior. What you thinking about this one? Maybe a little Bucks first half?
Yeah, no, I'm not interested in the Bucks right now. I don't like the way they look. This is a different team. We kind of have to come to that realization, or at least I do. And I can't handicap them the way that I have for the last 2 years, which is what I did by taking them in the last game, with such a high spread against Utah. Even though a lot of that play was me fading Utah, I just don't think they look right. They looked pretty good in the game last night, though, with 131 points. Since when does Milwaukee allow teams to score that many points? So I'm very suspicious of what I'm seeing. I think their rotation it's not as strong. They're just not as strong. There's some I don't even know. I know that it's our job to give more insight, and I wish I had more answers. But I was like watching that game last night, and I was like confused. Like, this is not the same team. Our expectations need to be changed. Maybe not permanently, because it's still early, and obviously the coach needs to figure it out. But I don't know, man. Bobby Portis, DJ Augustin. Like, first of all, bro, and I know this is off topic, and I'm not going on a rant, but I have to say this. People really try to tell Melo he wasn't good enough to play in the NBA anymore, but Bryn Forbes is out here getting run. Every time I see Bryn Forbes, son, I get so pissed off, bro. This dude sucks, bro. I know Budenholzer's a Spurs guy, so it's probably why he picked him up. But Jesus Christ, man, they need to improve that roster because it's looking kind of thin, in my opinion. So I'm not in the business of laying a lot of points with the Bucks until I see improvement in what they're doing. I think teams are starting to figure out that system.
Got you. Sorry, what you like, my guy? I know you might have that Bucks. You usually be having on that Milwaukee Bucks hat. What you thinking here tonight, man? It's a boatload of points.
That hat is in this room, actually. But no, I do think that when you look at just a couple of cross-reference games, 2 home games against Detroit and 1 against Chicago, 3-0 ATS in the first half, 2-1 ATS for the game. They did get backdoored in the second one against the Pistons, I believe. And I think when you look at the Cavs game flow, The Cavs are extremely inconsistent quarter to quarter and unpredictable. It's not like they just come out flat every game in the first quarter and then the second unit plays. It is all over the place. And you made the comment the last time they won a low-scoring game, I believe it was at Atlanta. We had that correctly, the 3rd and 4 for Atlanta. They went into Orlando and lost 103-83 with authority, just no energy. And I think you could find that environment here. I also would lean Bucks first half, but I'm a little bit worried just because I think the Cavs game flow is really funky. And I would almost prefer, just as a bit of a reversal from them getting backdoored against Detroit, I think they might actually flow through the game and win this game by somewhere like 15 to 20 points. I would lean Bucks here. For me, this is, if I'm playing like 3 or 4 sides, probably my 4th out of the 4, though.
You got you. Yeah, the lean for me, Bucks first half and full, just to lean though. But like I say, the Cavs, I don't even think Sexton is for sure. I know he didn't go through shoot around, so that's not a good sign. So last game of a long road trip, they're just coming off a win. There's no really need to. I mean, the Cavs are 5-4. They're literally a game over 500. I don't think they'll be forcing. And it's kind of crazy because teams like that, even though they'll look good right now, they still may have that tanking in the back of their head, man. They still, but that's enough of all that. But I do think that the Bucks could win this. If they come to play and come out, you know what I'm saying? We always know is if they come to play like to win by double digits. But I don't think Giannis will play. He took a hard fall last night. He probably won't play in this one, but I do think that this is more of it's a terrible spot for the Cavs with this being their 6th game of a road trip. Last game, they're ready to get to the house. Yeah, they got a couple players over there. They play hard. They got some, you know what I'm saying? They got some hard playing players over there. But in the Bucks, if they get going here, we've seen them pull away in games like this where they win by 30 and the team's just like not even. They up 20 in the first quarter. We've seen it, but nothing super strong. Go ahead.
So I just want to say, I think one super underrated thing about the Cavs is that Andre Drummond and Larry Nance Jr. have been 2 of the best defenders in the league. So to start the season, if you just look at who's playing the best defense, they're definitely top 5 or if not top 10 top 10 if not top 5 in defensive rating. And that's the reason why the Cavs are right now the number 1 defensive rated team in the league. So I just don't think it's a great spot to assume that the Bucks are going to smack them around. They should, but they just don't look right. Yesterday, the Bucks bench, because I was trying to see if it was, sometimes your eyes deceive you. You're watching something, then you go check the stats and they don't add up. I just want to look at the stats. The Bucks bench yesterday was 4 for 18 from the field. Their bench is trash. I'm sorry.
Got you. Yeah, like I say, if Sexton is not in their game, it's not going to be pretty for the Cavs, guys. They were okay without Sexton and Garland versus the Grizzlies. This is not the Grizzlies, and they barely won that game versus the Grizzlies as well. Probably even shouldn't have decided should have won. So the numbers are with Sexton in, with all their players in. They're missing a lot of bodies right now, guys. The only thing I'm saying it's not a super strong play for me, but I'm not looking at the Cavs in the 6th game of a road trip. It's just not gonna, like, that number is super high without Giannis for a reason. Just know that. Let's get to the next game. We got the Spurs versus the Timberwolves. Line open up at around -7 for the Spurs. Now back down to 5. Shark, I believe you got to look on this one. How you looking at this game, my guy?
Yeah, I like the Timberwolves here. And, I really don't autopilot just underdogs or contrarian sides. I really try to look at the layered analysis of the schedule and what's going on. And, again, we really find a nice buy low here. They're on L6. They've been without Towns for a while. I think Towns is questionable. I'm not sure if he's in or not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really not that worried about it. This is much more centered around that L6 coming back home and a fade of the Spurs. The Spurs are 4-0 on the road against the spread. And a key point here, they're 4-0 against the spread, all as underdogs. And I talk about this all the time, functionality of lines. When a team is a great underdog team on the road, oftentimes they are not a good favorite team on the road. And that speaks to just a mentality. They go into a championship contender gym, they're on the road, they really get that road dog mentality. Then all of a sudden they go into some crap team and they're laying points and they just don't bring it. And I think if you really come to recent history, they are coming off of 2 outright wins in Staples against the Clippers and the Lakers. It doesn't really get a lot more high than that in the Western Conference in a 2-game sample in 2021. I think it's a great fade of the Spurs tonight and a great buy on the Wolves tonight. I have them at +5. Gotcha.
It's a damn good breakdown, man. I I can't say it's too scary because all the teams will get a win, and I do think Karl-Anthony Towns will probably play. They were talking about that he'll probably play when the team comes back. He's questionable. Like I said, they do look light years better with him out there. If they do get him, I'm right there with you with that. That the Spurs are laying points now; they're not the underdog, so there's a pretty big difference. They are coming off two huge outright wins. So I was thinking about that. I was going to go smash the Spurs today, and I said, you know what? They're coming off two big games. The Timberwolves been looking terrible. They might get cat back. It's no play for me, Junior. What you got in this game?
I'll tell you what, man. I didn't really have an opinion on this game, but the Shark might have just talked me into a play. But no, when it comes, listen, there's certain teams that I'm really not good at handicapping. For the last 2 years, I can't handicap the Spurs properly. Whenever I fade the Spurs, they smash. Whenever I lay with the Spurs, they don't come to play. So I was going to stay away from the game, but I just wanted to say that I agree with everything that Shark just said, and I'm going to take a closer look at that based on his breakdown.
Exactly. No, that was a damn good breakdown. I mean, they still got some young guards out there. They can match up well versus the Spurs as well. And just like what he said, they're laying points now. It's a big difference from them catching 9 points, or they coming in motivated against a top, higher echelon team. Now you got a young team kind of facing like I said, if they get Karl-Anthony Towns back tonight, and I think that line may reflect it, or just the fact that him being questionable, that I think he makes light years difference to them, man. He gives them a whole nother type of, vibe out there. So if he gets back, I might have to ride with my guy on that one. Yeah, it was a damn good breakdown. That's how he looks at games, Junior. It's just razor locked in, man. I have him on the show for a reason. We think alike as well, man. But y'all know I've been fading the Timberwolves. It's just this is a spot where I don't like the Spurs laying points. The Timberwolves could keep this one close. They're home dog. They can keep this one close and still they could not win and still win for better.
By the way, Jay, we've talked about Coach Saunders. Obviously, his family ties to the organization, so they'd be more reluctant to fire him than a regular coach. If they get their asses kicked in this game, you got to start asking some serious questions about
you're right,
the coach of that team, bro, because they got to listen. You look at their schedule; they're playing San Antonio back-to-back, Memphis back-to-back, bro. You need a win or two at least, or else.
Oh yeah. You got to beat Memphis. Well, you absolutely have to beat Memphis one of those games. They might fire him early in the season. The Timberwolves had high aspirations this year. They're sitting at 2-6, 1-2 at the house. Oh, it's gonna come. We talked about that. We got 2 more games, guys. I want to get to this. There's a lot of moving parts in that Orlando versus Dallas. I don't have anything on no one. I'll tell you that for now, especially with all the. This is another COVID game. You see what I'm saying? We got some players out on the Mavs because of the COVID. So it's a lot of stuff, a lot of moving parts, and now it's not a regular handicap. But this Blazers versus Kings game somewhat is. The Blazers come to Sacramento here, laying 6 points. Open at 5 has been bet up to 6. The Kings did not. They looked somewhat good last night for a little while. I know a lot of people was on them. They end up going down. But Shark, what do you think about this one, bro? You think that the Kings have let down? You think they can bounce back, or we know that the Blazers are pretty inconsistent, but they're still better coached than the Kings.
Yeah, I mean this one I looked at in some detail, not a ton. When I looked at this pretty loosely, I was immediately just kind of like, the Kings are such a fade, almost like you guys made the comment with the Suns, where it's like they should let down. They're in a back-to-back, but then they won't. And they can score the basketball. They can score it in spurts, and they do find it in their home stadium sometimes. I mean, look at the game against Denver in their home stadium. They handled them in the fourth quarter by 10. And you catch Portland in here. Portland's inconsistent early season too. CJ and the boys, they don't really have a big juice factor in their locker room. I've been saying that for years. When what's his name, Myers Leonard left, he was the big, just the tight end, the big juice guy. Dane Dollar, he's a hell of a player, but he's not a real outspoken guy. Neither is CJ. Melo's taking on a secondary role. He's not going to really lead that group. And I just think there's a certain aspect to this game where they could come in here and just really lay another egg. And I just don't know. I really can't make any sort of significant remark to either side of this game.
I'm with you on that, and I'm really trying to stay away from teams that are so damn inconsistent and we don't know where, because we can't be surprised if we lose, or obviously we think we're going to win, but we can't be surprised. I do think that the Blazers will come in here and get them. That line's getting up there, though. I'm not laying that 6 on the road. What you thinking, Junior?
I mean, listen, this is the problem. The Kings just let the Raptors of all teams put up a buck 44, bro. Like, that was insanity. I couldn't even
Hey, with no
believe
Lowry, Junior.
with no Lowry, they put up a buck 44. So
He set a record against y'all.
yeah, like come on, bro. Like, so that's the definition of inconsistent, right? Because going into that game, the only reason I didn't take the Kings is because like I mentioned on the show yesterday, I can't keep fading the Raptors and going to the well every single time. They got to win a game at some point. That being said, the Kings still scored 120 something points themselves. So to say that you know what this team is going to do from night to night basis, you're fooling yourself right now. I definitely need more information, and I can only get that by sitting back and watching. I got to pass on this team right now. It would have to be Blazers or nothing, but I like something that the Sharks said. And maybe I'm just biased because I always think this about Portland. Their chemistry looks a little bit off. You have two guards that are great scorers but can't stop anybody on defense. And I think that I've been saying for a couple of years that they got to break those two up, not for any other reason, but you've tried this now for you've given it like a strong 5 years now. Dame is getting closer to, what's the word I want to use? Because I don't want to disrespect Dame. He's closer to being on the other side of his career than not, in the same way Steph Curry is, right? They're both 30 years old now. Like, you got to give these guys a chance to win. And I know I'm going off topic, but the Blazers kind of need to do something different. I think it's getting stale over there.
Got you. I am one to think that the Halliburton inside. So somebody in the chat said that shit made me laugh. He said Whiteside revenge game. That shit was hilarious, bro. Whiteside don't even get in the game, but Whiteside's about to be out of the NBA, bro. Like, stop, man. He's like, who's gonna give him a contract? Literally. I think that the Blazers will smash, but like I say, it's a tough one. The Kings do come to play. My thing is Fox. He has an injured hamstring right now. He was on a minutes restriction last night. Is he going to be on a minutes restriction again tonight? Is he going to get him bumped up? Is he going to sit? He wasn't 100% last night. It's where they weren't. Like, I'm even watching him getting up off the floor. He's stretching that hand me out. He's making sure he doesn't, fold his leg a certain type of way. I watch all those little things. So he's not 100% out there. It'd be interesting to see because Fox can always get to the free throw line. They have some ballers. They have some three-point shooters over there, but it's, in my opinion, I do think that the Blazers come in here and smash. They were on a little loser streak, then they come back and win the last game. Now you come on the road and face Sacramento, who really has nothing. Who's going to stop CJ and Dame when they get to going off? They have a couple of perimeter defenders to throw over there at those other guys. I think that the Blazers will smash, but like I said, at -6 is getting up there. He could have got that 5 overnight. It's a real nice one, but. Like I said, and in the Mavs game, Junior, do you have anything on the Mavs game? A lot of moving parts. Orlando just went and got smacked yesterday by 40. It's like I say, it's a bunch of moving parts for both teams. Absolutely no look for me at all, Junior. Just
no,
I go through that game.
The COVID situation, but I will say this though: I will be in the fading Orlando business before that price starts getting outrageous because it's going to start getting stupid because they can't score, and now you're taking away actual body parts. Or pieces, that could score. Markelle Fultz might not seem like a big deal to the casual fan, but he's one of the best players on that team, whether people like it or not. And to remove him from that roster, they're not talented enough to be missing key parts like that. Just like when you see Evan Fournier go down, it's such a big deal for this team. They need every single one of their pieces to be playing at 100% for them to be an 7-8 seed, which is what they've been for like 2-3 years now. When you take away one of those, let's say we'll call it their top 5 players, top 6, because I think Terrence Ross is actually, he's basically a starter who comes off the bench. He's a 6th starter. If any one of them 6 guys gets injured, I'm in the fading Orlando business. It's kind of proven to be that they have a hard time overcoming these injuries to their roster. They have a pretty cohesive unit in the sense that they've been together for a long time. They don't really have too much roster turnover. But again, the talent level, especially offensively, it's inconsistent at best. I think Vooch is like the only consistent offensive player they have. So it's a lot to ask him to do that every night. And I think that without Fultz, Their offense, which struggles even with all their pieces right, it's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get ugly.
Got you. So Josh Richardson, so Evan Fournier's out for the Magic. Michael Carter Williams is out. Fultz, obviously. Cole Anthony got a little right quad contusion, but he is going to play. Now for the Mavericks, you got Jalen Brunson out. You got Dorian Finley-Smith out, who's a starter, and you have Josh Richardson out, who as well as a starter. If you bet in this game, man, good luck. It's too many moving parts. In theory, my Mavs should still get the win, but the land is sick at the house, especially after Magic getting blown out by 40. They got a lot of injuries over there. There's no way in hell I'm betting this game. We do have to get out of here. Shark, do you have any? You don't have any thoughts really on that Magic versus Mavs spot, do you?
Just one thought. The last time the Mavs came home off a big road win, they did catch an uninspiring East opponent, the Hornets, and they lost 118-99. And again, there is the element, you're in your home stadium with no fans, uninspiring opponent without players. And I keep making the comment, it does stand tall. You know, when a team is lacking their top guys, the other team finds an inability to motivate. I'm not going to be playing this. If I really had to, gun to my head, I would probably take the Magic with points here. I just think that this is a letdown. That was a huge win the other night in Denver in overtime. And I just think they come home here again. And it's kind of similar to the Hornets home game, which they just had zero juice in that matchup.
Yep, you're exactly right. You're exactly right with that one. It's steadily progressing. Questionable for today. Come on, Kat.
Hey,
get your ass in there. Get your ass in there. It's not. Go ahead, Junior, and break them off with your official picks when you finish.
Gary Clark, Dwayne Bacon, James Ennis, Cole Anthony, and Vooch. That's the Magic starting lineup right now. Yikes. My official plays are Miami first half, Miami full game, and Suns plus 3.5.
Got you. Shark, what's your plays, my guy?
I got Atlanta. I got it -4 last night at 1 a.m. I did have a feeling that would get steamed, and for good reason. It is -5, 5.5 now. I would still take that. I have the Timberwolves +5, and I have Miami Heat -5.5 also booked last night at 1 a.m.
Got you, man. Give me Hawks first half -3 and full game. I did get on -5, but -5.5. I'll go with the official play for the show with the current line. Yeah, give me the Hawks. If it's that close, then they're not going to cover. So I'll take that 5.5. The Hawks should win this game by 10+ points. If not, there's going to be some problems. There is going to be some problems over there. We'll see. I think they come out hot. I don't think they'll look back. I still think they're a lot better team than the Hornets are. They're a lot further beyond what the Hornets are. I like the hat by my guy Shark. We got to get out of here, man. We still had 400 people watching live during the football game. So I appreciate y'all for watching. Y'all hit the like button, subscribe. We're going to try to bounce back today. Like the Hawks, I might ride with my guy Shark there on the Timberwolves. I really like that look. Home dog, I'm going to be watching. I'm going to sit at the spot, wait for Carlton Towns. If he's in, I'm jumping on it with my guy. Love the Hawks today, though. Really do. But let's get some cash, man. Let's get some cash today. Y'all know what's up. We'll be back on Monday. We will be back on Monday. I'll probably go on Twitter live with my guy Shark. Whenever you're ready, Shark, we go on Twitter live together, man. So we appreciate y'all for watching, and we'll come back and holler at y'all on Monday, man. We appreciate y'all.